we're going to be doing class seated in a chair today. So for class, you'll need a kitchen chair, any kind of chair that you might have. Just try to get one that's a little bit simpler. So yeah, I have this folding metal chair. And then you'll need a block or a rather thick book like a dictionary, a strap or a yoga strap or a strap from a bathrobe, a belt, and 2 blankets. Good, so once you've gathered your props, you'll bring your chair onto your yoga mat, just somewhere in the middle. And then you'll come sitting at the front edge of your chair, and you'll line up your heels beneath your knees and your knees in line with your hip bones. So not the fleshy outer part of the hips, but the inner bones of the hips. And then let your palms come to rest face down on your knees. Good. And then you can allow the eyes to close, or you can keep the eyes open. But we're going to take a few moments to settle into the space of our practice. So just acknowledge that you're setting this next hour or so aside to practice slowing down a bit. Good, and it's not a perfect practice. None of it has to be perfect. We're just experimenting a little bit. And see if you can acknowledge that kind of messy, imperfect space that we're creating together. And then just do a light body scan. So beginning from the crown of your head and slowly with your mind moving down all the way to the tips of your toes. And you're scanning for sensation, emotion, thoughts, feelings. And we're going to do this practicing as the soft observer. Good, so we're just practicing witnessing, and even witnessing when we might be judgmental of what we're feeling. And then once you get to the tips of your toes, just gently bring your attention to the breath. Good, so you don't need to change the breath at all. We're just practicing noticing the breath. And as you notice the breath, notice the weight of your feet on the ground. Maybe gently rock from side to side, noticing the weight shift in your hips. And you're just kind of taking in information here. Try to let the teeth part. If the eyes are open, just let them be soft. Good. And as you rock from side to side, try to feel your sitting bones. So those are the 2 bones deep beneath the flesh of your glutes. And as you shift your weight from side to side, see if you can feel them gently pressing through the flesh towards the chair. And then slowly start to find center. So again, it's all an experiment. Some days you're like, I found center. Other days you're like, center is everywhere. So just try your best, and again, we're witnessing here. And then come as much as you can to center. Press down through your sitting bones and lift up through the top of your head. So everyone go ahead and touch the top of their head. And as you feel your palm on it, lift the head up into your palm. And then let the palm float back down. So we're just lengthening the spine here. And I might give some funny instructions in class, and if they confuse the mind more, let them go and come back to your breath. Good, and as you press the sitting bones down and lift up through the top of your head, try to balance your head over your neck. And let your body teach you what that means. And then let the palms float up, face down over the heart, and let the head bow down. And just take a moment to acknowledge the space of your practice. To acknowledge that it's a practice, that it's an experiment. And set any intentions you might like for the next hour of practice. And then let your palms float back down to your knees. And then actively press your palms down into your knees. And try to lift the sternum up. But let the teeth part. Let the skin around your eyes be soft. And then let the fingertips come down by your sides. Ground through the heels. Lift through your core, so bring your palm here and lift through your core as you press the heels down. And inhale, let the arms come forward and up, the palms face in. And then ground through your heels and lift the fingers up more. Good, feel the side body stretch open. And exhale, let the fingers come forward and down. Good. Ground through your heels, spread your toes out wide as best you can. As you press your heels down, lift through your core. Try to balance your head over your neck. And inhale, float the arms forward and up. Good, as you press the heels down into the earth, imagine you are drawing the ceiling down to your fingertips. Let the teeth be soft. Feel the breath move. And exhale, float the arms forward and down. Good. Press down through the heels, lift through the core. Balance on the sitting bones as you lift through the top of your head. On an inhale, reach the arms up. On an exhale, extend the spine by pulling the ceiling down to your fingers and grounding your heels towards the floor. And exhale, float the arms forward and down. Let them come to rest back on the knees. Good. So just notice if your mind is still racing. It's totally okay. So the practice of yoga is not to become this completely peace-filled being but it's to become intimate with ourselves as we are, not as we think we should be. So just notice how you are today. Good. And then come back to your base. So spread your toes out wide and ground the heels down. Good, so we've been practicing Tadasana seated. So now we're going to move into Utkatasana, chair pose, seated. So ground through your heels, spread your toes out wide. And press your heels down until you feel your glutes start to engage. And inhale, float the arms forward and up. Good, press the heels down, feel the glutes engage, and reach through the fingertips. On an exhale, come forward onto the front of your sitting bones. Good, press the heels down, reach the fingertips towards the wall in front of you. Inhale, float up. Exhale, let the arms come forward and down. Good, come back to your base. The toes spread out wide, ground the heels down. Good, and press them down more until you feel it move up into your glutes and you feel them engage. Balance on the sitting bones, lift through the crown of your head. Inhale, float the arms forward and up. Draw the ceiling down towards your fingers as you press the heels into the earth. With the glutes engaged, inhale, tip forward onto the front of your sitting bones. Good. As you tip forward onto the front of your sitting bones, lift your sternum up. So we want a nice lengthened spine. And inhale, float up. Let the arms float down, back to the knees. Good. Take a breath. Try to balance your head over your neck. Good, and then begin with your base again. Press the heels down, lift through your core. Come to the center of your sitting bones, lift up through the crown of your head. Inhale, float the arms forward and up. Good, press the heels down until the glutes engage and tip forward. As the heels press down, the sternum lifts up. Good, so see how my chest is lifting? So I'm not arched, I'm lifting in the sternum. Good, and then exhale, come up and float the arms forward and down. Let them land. Press the heels down, lift up through the core. Balance on the center of the sitting bones and lift up through the top of the head. Good, and then open from the center of your collarbones out to the tips of your shoulders. Let the teeth part. Watch the breath enter and leave the body. Good. And then you're going to grab your strap and have your block nearby too if it's not. And then bring your strap around. So your strap is going to need to be in a loop. And then you're going to bring it around just beneath your elbows. And see how my strap is keeping my wrists in line with my shoulders. So you're going to want it to be about that wide. So your arms aren't splaying out too far. Good. And then bring your palms down onto your knees. Ground the heels, lift through the core. Balance on the center of your sitting bones and lift through the top of your head. Good, and then actively press your arm bones out into the strap. And release. Good, and then this next cue might be a little confusing. So you're going to actively press your arm bones out into the strap. And as you do this, imagine you are also pulling the arms away from the strap. Good, so actively press out, and then imagine you are pulling the arms away from the strap. Good, release. So the mind might make it confusing, but the body knows what to do. Good, so actively press out into the strap, and as you press out, draw the arms towards each other, away from the strap. Good. Do you notice a lift in your core? Release. Notice if you see anything drop. And then press out as you draw in. Press the heels down, lift through the core. And release. Good. Again, we're just picking up information, so if it's not all making sense today, no worries. Let whatever registers register. Come back to your grounded heels, press them down, lift up through your core, balance on the center of your sitting bones, lift through the crown of your head, and then press out into the strap as you draw in. You're going to keep the palms facing forward and inhale, reach the palms up overhead. As you press out into the strap, draw away from the strap at the same time. Good. Feel the lift of your side body. And exhale, let the arms come forward and down. Good. One more time. Press the heels down. Lift through the core. Press out into the strap and pull away from the strap, and inhale, float the arms up, palms face forward. Good. Press into the strap and draw away at the same time. Press your sitting bones down, lift through the top of your head. And exhale, float the arms forward and down. Good. Land, take a breath, and then move the strap off of your arms. And we're actually going to bring it around our thighs. So you're going to walk your feet through the loop of the strap. And then you're going to want to adjust the strap once you bring it to your mid-upper thighs, so just like 5 inches below the knees. Make sure you're still sitting on the edge of your chair. And you want the strap to keep your knee bones in line with your hip bones. So you want it to be taut when your knees are apart, hips width distance. Good, so take a moment to find that. Drink water. Good, and then make sure again that your legs are in a 90-degree angle, so heels beneath knees, knees in line with hips. And you can bring your palms to rest down on your knees. And then you're going to press your heels down, lift through your core, and then actively press out into the strap. So it's just like we did with our arms. Notice how that feels, and then release. And now you're going to actively press into the strap and imagine that you're pulling away from the strap. Release. Again, press into the strap, and then imagine that you are also pulling away from the strap. release. Notice what rises and what falls in your body. Good, so you are the knower of your body and your experience. I'm just offering guideposts. Not everything works the same way for everybody. So again, press out into the strap and draw away from the strap. As you do this, ground the heels and lift through your core. Balance the head over the neck. Then inhale, float the arms forward and up. Turn the palms to face in. Keep pressing into the strap and drawing away from it. Ground the heels down and draw the ceiling towards your fingertips. Good. Notice if you feel any lighter than you did at the beginning of class. Exhale, let the arms come forward and down. Good, and then you're going to grab the block and bring it on the inside line of your thighs. So I'm bringing it this thin setting between my thighs. Good, and the strap stays snug, so you might kind of have to readjust, loosen the strap to bring the block in, and then tighten the strap again. I just noticed how much blue I'm wearing. Good, and then bring your palms back down. Press the sitting bones down, lift through the crown of your head. Good, ground the heels as you lift the core. And then press out into the strap as you hug the block between your thighs. So this will give your mind more information. Release. Press out into the strap as you hug the block at the same time. Release. Once more, press into the strap and hug the block. As you do this, inhale, let the arms rise forward and up. Turn the palms to face in. Ground the heels, pull the ceiling down to your fingertips. Take a nice deep breath. And exhale, let the arms float forward and down. And then keeping the strap and the block, inhale, float the arms up and out into a T. Good. Ground through the heels, lift through the core. Press into the strap as you hug the block. Good. Draw the walls towards your fingertips. And exhale, float the arms down. Good, and then we're going to keep this setup. Press the sitting bones down, lift through the top of the head. Exhale, bring your right palm to your right knee and your left palm behind you. Good, inhale, lengthen the spine, grounding the sitting bones, lifting through the sternum. And exhale, rotate. Good, so try to keep the chin in line with the chest. Mine always wants to move that way. Good, and then unwind. Press the sitting bones down, lift through the crown of the head, and exhale, bring the left palm outside the left knee and the right palm behind you. Good, ground the sitting bones, lift through the sternum, and exhale, rotate. Keeping the chin in line with the chest. And unwind. Bring the palms down to the knees. And then take the block out. Set it to the side. And take the strap off. Good. And now we're going to come into another twist on the chair. So you're going to rotate on the chair, bringing your right hip against the chair back. And now depending on the width of your hips, you might want a second chair here. And if you wanted to bring a second chair, you would bring the chair so that the chair seat comes and kisses this chair. And then you have a larger base to sit on. Good, and then you're going to come into your seat, and we're going to use the memory of what we just learned with the strap and the block. Good, so make sure that you have a right angle, heels beneath knees, knees in line with hips. Ground your sitting bones, lift through the top of your head. Take a nice deep inhale. On an exhale, you're going to rotate, bringing your palms to the chair back and keeping your chin in line with your chest. The elbows will come out to the sides. And exhale, unwind. Good, and then we're going to do that again, but this time imagine you were pressing into the strap and hugging the block between your thighs. Inhale, exhale, rotate. Press the sitting bones down and lift through the crown on the inhale. On the exhale, rotate. And unwind. And then we're going to come around to the other side of the chair. If you have two chairs pushed together, you'll just get up, walk around, and come seated with your left hip against the chair back. Good, so come in with your ankles in line with your knees, in line with your hips. Press down through the sitting bones, lift through the crown. Take a nice deep inhale. As you exhale, rotate, bringing the palms to the chair back. Good. The chin will stay in line with the chest. And unwind. Good. And then we're going to find the muscle memory. So ground your heels and imagine you are pressing out into the strap as you are hugging the block at the same time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, rotate. Good. This chin stays in line with the chest. Press the sitting bones down, lift through the sternum. And on an exhale, rotate any amount more. Good. Keep pressing out into the strap as you hug the block between your thighs. And unwind. Bring the palms face down on the knees and take a breath. Good, and then come to face forward. If you have two chairs, you can move the second chair off to the side. Good, so we're just going to practice a little back bend. So first we're going to locate the sternum. So bring your fingertips to the center of your chest, that little bony part. Good, and then try to lift that space up into your fingertips. Good, so this might not be making any sense to you. Sometimes it doesn't make any sense to me. And then release your palms down. So we're not going into a deep physical back bend. We're looking for the more subtle motion of our inner body. And that can be a really advanced thing to do, so just try your best. And we'll use contrast to find that. So bring your palms down onto your thighs, ground them down, press the palms down. As the palms press down, lift the belly up. Good. Ground through your sitting bones and begin to lift the sternum up. See how little I'm moving on the outside, and then release. Good. Notice if you can feel the beginning of the back bend. Good. Ground your palms down, and then lift the center of the sternum. Good. And release. Good. And then so this depends on what kind of chair you have, but you're going to bring your sitting bones to the front edge of your chair, ground the sitting bones, and then bring the arms down by your sides and rotate the palms to face up to the sky. Good. As you ground the sitting bones, you're going to let your head start to go back. Keep the back of the neck long and the front of the neck long. And then lift the sternum up. Good. And release. Good. One more time. Ground the sitting bones. If this is not comfortable in your chair, you can do what we did at the beginning. Looking for that small curve beginning to happen. Good. Ground the sitting bones. Ground the heels. Turn the palms to face up. Bring them by your sides. And then begin to take the head back. Keep the back of the neck long and the front of the neck long. And start to lift the sternum up. And release. Good. Come to the front of your chair. Bring your palms flat on your knees. Balance your head over your neck. And take a breath. And let the eyes blink open. So we're going to move on to the floor. And we're going to practice a version of shoulder stand. So you're going to need your chair. You're going to need your block. And you can just have your blanket nearby for Shavasana. So the chair can be kind of at the edge of your mat, so we're not really going to be pushing into the chair, so we don't need to worry about it sliding quite so much. But if you are concerned about that, bring your mat up against the wall and bring the chair against the wall. Good. And then you're going to come down onto your back with the soles of the feet flat on the mat. And you're going to bring your elbows down by your sides and actually just take a moment to feel this transition. So feel your spine supported by the ground beneath you. Feel the weight of your heels, the curve of your legs. Good. And then bring your elbows down by your sides and point your fingertips up to the sky. So you're going to press down and out into the elbows. And as you do that, you're going to lift the sternum up. Just like we were doing before. Good. And as I do that, I feel a small space grow in my back. And then I'm going to draw the chin down to lengthen the back of my neck. And then release. Good. Press down and out into the elbows. Lift the sternum up. Good. Keep lifting the sternum up and draw the chin down. Lengthen out the back of the neck. Breathe. And release. Good. Let the palms come to rest on your belly for a moment. Good. So that was prep. And now You're gonna bring your heels up onto the edge of your chair where your sitting bones have been for most of the class. Good, and notice how my feet aren't flopping out like that. My toes are pointing up to the sky. And then I'm gonna bring my elbows in close to my sides, fingertips pointing up. I'm gonna press into my elbows, lift my sternum up. Good. Keep reaching my sternum up, and then I'm going to draw my chin in, lengthening out the back of my neck. And then I'm going to rotate my toes firmly up to the sky. And release. Take a breath. And then come back. Bring your elbows into your sides, fingertips point up. Press down and out into the elbows and begin to lift the sternum. Good. As the sternum lifts, draw your chin in, lengthen out the back of your neck. Good, and rotate the inner thighs down. So that's just another way of saying point the toes up to the sky. Good, and then draw your pubic bone up and press out through the heels. Good, feel strength in the legs. And release. Good. One more time at this stage. Press down and out into the elbows. Fingers point up. Lift the sternum as the elbows press down. Draw the chin in and lengthen out the back of the neck. Rotate the inner thighs down and press the heels forward. Good. Draw the pubic bone up to the sky. And release. Good. And then the last step, grab your block and lift your hips up. You might need to bring your feet down to do this, and bring your sacrum onto the block. So this should feel comfortable. If you feel any discomfort, you need to adjust the block so it's supporting that flat bone of your sacrum. And if you can't find that, or if it's just not feeling good today, just practice with your hips flat on the floor. Good. So really rotate your inner thighs down here. The toes need to be pointing up to the sky. Bring your elbows in by your sides. Point the fingertips up to the sky. Press the elbows down. Lift the sternum up. Good. Draw the chin in, lengthen the back of the neck. Good. Press out through your heels as you lengthen through the top of your head. Good. Draw the pubic bone up, lengthen the sitting bones down towards your heels. Press the elbows down more, lift the sternum more. Breathe. Keep rotating the inner thighs down and pressing through the heels. And release. Good. So you can walk the feet down off of the chair, plant them on the mat, and come into a supported Setu Bandha bridge pose. The palms can rest on the belly or down by your sides. Again, make sure that your sacrum is comfortable here. Don't move your head from side to side. And just take a few breaths here, letting the body ground. Good, and then you're going to press your heels down Slowly lift your hips up and slide the block out from beneath you. Let the spine return to the earth. Let the palms rest face down on your torso. Good. If you'd like to, you can breathe between your palm on your belly and the palm on your chest. We're moving towards final relaxation pose, Shavasana. Feel your spine supported by the earth. Really let the teeth part here. And then let your palms come down by your sides and walk your heels in. We're just going to do something for the nervous system here. So pressing into your heels. So pressing into my heels, I'm just going to bob the spine up and down the length of the mat. Good, so there's very little muscular action here. I'm mostly just using the press of the heels to move my body. Good, and get a nice rock going. And come to stillness. And then just go ahead and push the chair forward and extend your legs out long. If you need support underneath your knees for your back, you can fold up some blankets and bring them beneath your knees. Good, let the arms come to rest down by your sides. If it's okay in the body, let the eyes close. Feel the support of the ground rising up beneath you. Feel the spine held. Let the teeth part, let the eyes sink back in the skull. Feel the rivers of your arms and legs run out wide. And as best you can, let the mind sink back and down, settling close to the abdomen, and release yourself into rest. slowly begin to bring yourself back. Just notice the sounds in the space around you, the space outside. Practice being the gentle observer and watch them pass in through one ear and out through the other. And just start to notice the breath entering and leaving the body. Maybe feeling the corners of your mouth turn up. In a gentle inward smile. Stepping back for a moment into that observer. And begin to breathe more fully. Extending the breath into the waterways of your body. Finding gentle movement in the fingers and the toes. And when you're ready, inhale and reach the arms up overhead for a nice long stretch. Slowly let the eyes peel open, letting the room flood into your vision. If it's too much too soon, you can close the eyes again and choose to open them. Bend your knees, bring your soles of the feet to the floor and roll to your right side. And pause for a moment. Maybe offering your body one last piece of gratitude in the practice. Then bring your left palm down. Slowly come up, letting the head come up last if possible. And we're just gonna close in a seat coming up on a blanket. Press the sitting bones down, lift up through the top of your head. Let the palms come together over the heart and let the head bow down. Thank you so much for sharing the practice with me. In deep gratitude to the practice of yoga and to each other in community. Thank you. I hope that this practice serves you, and I will see you again.